Another week, another video. I'm Ryan Kingsley. As you know, I'm a chartered and independent financial advisor, planner. I've been doing this for over a decade. Today's question though is, how do I get money out of my pension without giving it all to HMRC unnecessarily? A lot of people are doing this wrong. They are paying more tax than they need to on their pension income, which is fine if you enjoy it, but most people don't. In retirement, your income from your pension is a bit like a tap. You can control how much you take from it, and thus in return how much tax you pay. That flexibility, knowing how to use it properly, is what makes or keeps more money in your pocket and less going to the tax man. So here's what we're going to be going through today. The different ways you can access your pension, what age you can start to take money from your pension, how long it takes to get set up, and how to be as tax efficient as possible whilst avoiding mistakes. A small reminder, I am talking specifically about defined contribution pensions here. Your workplace pension, personal pensions, SIPs, not final salary schemes, otherwise known as defined benefits pensions in this video. The most common lump sum is your tax-free cash. You can take 25% of your pension pot completely tax-free up to the lifetime maximum of £268,275. A lot of people do this just to clear their mortgage or a big purchase, or just have cash in reserve. It's not something I almost ever recommend to anyone. You can also take ad hoc lump sums from your pension at any point, but those will be taxable unless they fall within that tax-free entitlement or within your personal allowance. For regular income, the most popular option is flexi-access drawdown. Your pension pot stays invested and you take money out whenever you want, monthly, quarterly, whenever suits you. You set the amount and you can change it whenever you want. This is the tab, you control it. If your state pension kicks in, you turn it down. Big expenses come up, you turn it up. It moves with you and your life. The pot is still invested, so it can go up and down in value. The other option is an annuity. You hand some or all of your pension to an insurance company and they pay you a guaranteed income for life. No investment risk and lots of certainty, potentially inflation linking. I'm just going to show you here the different annuity rates. So on £100,000 for a 65-year-old person, you could get nearly £8,000 a year for the rest of your life. If you're a smoker or have certain health conditions, you can get something called an enhanced rate. So that same person could actually get over £8,400 a year. The older you get when you buy, the higher level of income. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of annuities. The main reason is you can't leave anything behind. The money's gone if you die early and the insurance company keeps it. And historically, money left invested has done significantly better than annuity rates over the long term. But it depends on the person. Like if you want a certain amount coming in every single month to replicate your salary and you don't want to worry and you don't care about leaving a legacy or an estate to someone, then it may make complete sense. It also depends if you're comfortable taking investment risk, and it's about if you can sleep at night. The next thing is something called UFPLS, uncrystallized fund pension lump sum. Don't worry about the name. This is basically, you take lump sums from your pension, 25% of it is tax-free, the remaining percent is 75% is taxable. You do that so you're not committing to actually opening a proper drawdown account. It's a really interesting way to help some people bridge that gap. But you don't need to just pick one option. You can do both of them or more. You can use your pension, you can buy an annuity with some of your pension, and you can use that to complement your state pension. There's no right answer here. It's about what works for you. But what age can you actually access your pension? Well, your state pension is 66, soon it'll be 67, it's changing in the next year or two. Your workplace pension, your private pensions, personal pensions, the ones you set up, those you can access a whole decade sooner. At the moment it's 55, soon it will be 57. But you don't need to stop working to access that pension. So if you're still working, you're 55, 57, you can access your workplace pension. You could take some tax-free cash should you want to. I would say leave it invested, but that's another conversation. It typically takes, and this is the thing, when people retire, it's not like the money can just be sent to you instantly. You need to set up the accounts and check your workplace pension because a lot of them have very limited investment options and very limited retirement options. That typically takes about 2 to 4 weeks, 2 to 6 weeks actually, to get your money from your pension. And if you actually need to move the pension to a different provider, that can take up to 8 weeks. Usually it's much faster, but it can take up to 8 weeks on top of that 2 to 6 week period to access your money. So think about that. Prepare in advance. There's a few key terms, two specifically I want you to know. The word crystallisation. It's like a very big word for meaning the moment you formally access your pension benefits, either by taking tax-free cash or moving it into drawdown. Before that, your pension is called uncrystallised. After it's crystallised, it affects how the rules and taxation apply when you pass away. You've then got MPAA, money purchase annual allowance. Once you take any taxable income from your pension, your drawdown pot, then your relief is capped, and you're capped on how much you can contribute to your pension. So it goes from £60,000 a year in the current tax year all the way down to £10,000. So taking tax-free cash doesn't trigger this, but if you take taxable income, it does. Now, this is the part that really matters. How do we be tax efficient? Everyone has a personal allowance. When you stop working, you still have the $12,570 or whatever it will be in a few years' time. And if you're not working, you should be using that. So most people take some tax-free cash and then they will take taxable income from their pension. But if you've got the state pension already, say you retire at 66 or you're in receipt of state pension already, then that is £241.30 a week. That's basically your personal allowance already. So you really need to think about using your personal allowance and then how much taxable income you take from your pension and then using other sources. So a lot of people will take taxable income from their pension all the way up until they hit that bracket to become 40% tax rate payers. Then they'll take it from maybe some other cash savings, maybe their ISAs to avoid 40% tax. It's a really good way of doing that. So spreading withdrawals over a period of time and multiple tax years, not just taking everything out at once, will help keep your tax bands lower. The same amount spread over 2 to 3 years can mean like a significant reduction in tax that you pay. The other thing is that most people forget when your money is invested in a pension, there's no tax to pay on the appreciation of it. There's no capital gains tax bill, there's no dividend tax. It's just income tax when you decide to access it. And so a lot of people will take their money from their pension, which is a very tax efficient wrapper where they control how much income they take, and they put it into a general investment account where it's taxable. It's a huge mistake I see all the time. So understanding how much you need to spend and then making sure you're just taking enough income. But there are some mistakes that people make, and I'm going to go through those very quickly. A lot of people don't plan. And a lot of people are depleting their pension pots significantly faster than they should be. Typically, when they're trying to bridge the gap to state pension age, they're taking too much. A lot of people, when they're in their 50s and they can take their tax-free cash, don't realize the MPAA trigger that happens if you take taxable income. So they'll go, oh, I just need a little bit more for my pension to clear my mortgage and then I'm fine. And it's great. Now they've just capped how much they can contribute to the pension for the rest of their life. And they're missing out on significantly more amounts of tax relief and tax-free cash just because of trying to pay off that mortgage a little bit sooner. Typically, when you access your first income payment that's taxable from your pension, from your drawdown account, HMRC will assign an emergency tax code so that you are effectively taxed like 50%. So it usually makes sense to take a small amount from your pension that's taxable and then the next month take a bigger one once the tax code is sorted. This is because HMRC in all their wisdom will assume that if you need £10,000 of income, you're gonna go, I'm gonna spend £10,000 a year plus 25% extra for tax-free cash. HMRC will think you're taking £10,000 a month, which is just insane. So they think you're taking 120k a year, they'll tax you according to that. It's only when you take the next amount they realise actually they're not taking that amount. I don't know why, it's just HMRC. And that's it really. I've covered quite a bit in this video. There's lots more videos I've got, please do check them out. But if you are still watching this, I'm launching my own wealth management firm. I'm going self-employed. I'm aligning myself with a fantastic firm and network, and it would mean a lot if you were to support my journey on this. I'll be doing a series on Instagram talking about starting from zero because I can't take my clients with me. So I'm literally gonna be starting a business with no clients, which is just insane. So for those that are watching this and thinking about taking financial advice, I will happily have a conversation with you. And if you don't want financial advice and you're happy just to do a bit of DIY and watch these videos, if you've got questions and you find it helpful, please just drop a message or drop a comment. I appreciate it. Thank you. All the best. And I will see you in the next one.